Have you felt that something has changed, but you just don't know what? The angels know. They whisper around you like a gentle breeze on the nights you wake up for no reason. You feel it. A presence, a calling, a memory that insists on lingering. There is a soul that has touched yours, not by chance, but by an ancient promise. Even before embodying, you both knew you would reunite. Today, the angels show me that you were placed on the path of this person for a reason that defies human explanations. Your presence was the answer to a silent prayer even he didn't know he was making. You were sent like a flash of clarity in a world he could no longer decipher. And even if he fights against it, even if he tells himself he isn't ready, something inside him, something very old, recognizes you. She didn't come to complete me, but to remind me of who I am, is what the angels hear from him, even if he never says it out loud. You didn't show up to be a fix, but rather a mirror of what he had forgotten within himself. The ability to love with purity, to trust without masks, to allow himself to be seen. And this, my dear soul, has left him both shattered and fascinated at the same time. The angels say, you are the call he has ignored for years, but he can no longer overlook it. The spiritual mission between you isn't about an immediate happy ending. It's about healing. About encounters that strip the soul bare, not the body. It's about confronting dormant wounds, opening doors shut by fear, and reigniting forgotten memories of what it means to love in spirit. You, with your unwavering and silent light, are showing him what is real. And this destabilizes him. He feels as if he's standing before something he cannot control, and so, he tries to pull away, he tries to rationalize. But the angels show me, even on days when he pretends to forget you, his heart repeats your name in the silence. There is a pact between your souls. Not of possession, but of remembrance. He needed to cross paths with you to awaken. To remember that there is life beyond mere survival, that there is love beyond fear, that there is God in the little things, like in your voice. This connection is not of the earth. It comes from far away. From a place where names do not exist, only the vibration of truth. And when two souls touch on this plane, life is never the same again. Now listen with your heart, and you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. John 8 verse 32. Yes, his truth is you. But to recognize it, he needs to free himself from what he believed was love, from what he learned as protection, from what he thought was enough. And that's why you are here. Not to force anything, but to be present. A witness. A living reminder of who he is, and always has been, when he loves without running away. The mission is not simple. And often, it will feel lonely. But it is sacred. And the angels assure you, you are not alone. They are preparing the invisible stage where everything will align. Because this story has already been written in the sky. Now, it's just a matter of time before it blooms on earth. Have you ever wondered why, despite all the feelings between you, he seems to slip away? As if something invisible is stopping him from simply staying? The angels whisper, he is not running from you. He is running from himself. Behind every silence, every sudden distance, there is an untold story. Old wounds, silent traumas, broken promises he swore he would never repeat. Loving you requires a dive he has spent his whole life avoiding. Because to love someone like you, with that truth that lays bare, with that presence that heals, is dangerous for someone who has built walls to survive. The angels say, she is the first one he cannot deceive. And that's why he hesitates. Because your light doesn't allow him to keep hiding behind masks. You don't require him to change, but your presence does that on its own. It's as if he's seeing himself for the first time, and doesn't know what to do with all of it. Inside him, there's a wounded child, forgotten in some corner of his soul, who learned to protect himself from pain by closing his heart. He survived, yes, but he never truly lived love. And now, upon meeting you, something trembles. As if the ground he walked confidently on had cracked. The angels show that he fears losing you just as much as he fears surrendering. A painful paradox. Because surrendering to you means dismantling a castle built on fear, control, and loneliness. And no one does that without trembling. Yet still he stays. Even at a distance, even in silence. He stays. Because something in him knows, running away from you is running away from himself. And that is becoming unbearable. Don't take his confusing gestures personally. Don't interpret his silences as disinterest. You're not being ignored, you're being observed. Every word you say resonates deeply. Every gesture of yours is noted by a part of him that wants to draw closer, even while another part is still resisting. You are not the problem. You are the mirror. And what he sees reflected in you is not just love, it's the invitation to heal. But before he allows himself to live this love, he needs to navigate through his own labyrinths. And dear soul, that takes time. Why does he come to me and then pull away? You've quietly wondered. The answer from the heavens is simple and sacred, because he desires you with his soul, but he hasn't yet learned to desire without fear. And the angels add, she awakens in him the most beautiful things, and the most frightening ones. So, embrace the mystery. Embrace the dance of coming closer and pulling away. This phase is not a lack of love, it's an excess of unprocessed emotion. And your presence is the daily reminder that he can love differently. Love better. Love truly. You are the sign he prayed for, even if he has forgotten that. You've been trying to hold on to him with the strength of your silence, with the constancy of your affection, with the beauty of your commitment. But the angels are telling you, now it's time to hold on to yourself. There is a place inside you that is also asking for care. And it's not selfish to return to yourself. It's wisdom. Because if you lose yourself trying to heal someone else, who will take care of you? The angels watch you with eyes of tenderness. They see when you let go of small joys to keep this bond alive. When you silence your own pain to hold his. When you diminish yourself a little, just to not be too much, just to not scare him off, just to try to be the space where he feels safe. But listen, you don't need to disappear for him to come closer. The angels say, she was light before being a beacon for someone. That light still lives in you. And it needs nourishment. Moments that are just yours. Time to rest, to reconnect, to pause. Love doesn't ask for sacrifice. It asks for presence. Whole, clear, light. But you can only be whole if you turn inward, into that place that is just yours, where no one can enter without an invitation. You are made of poetry, not deadlines. You bloom in silence, but you also need to be nurtured. You need to breathe. You need to remember that it's not your responsibility to fix anyone. You are not obligatory healing. You are a loving invitation. And if he still can't keep up with you, dance alone for a while. Because that's how you listen to yourself. That's how you find yourself again. And when he looks again, and he will see not your absence, but the divine presence that has always inhabited you. The angels say, she doesn't need to beg for attention. She is the answer itself. Be your own home. Be your refuge. Use this time to nourish yourself with what makes you feel alive. Return to caring for your body, your heart, your soul. Dance, read, write. Rediscover old passions. Not to forget him, but to remember yourself. Because true love starts there. When you love yourself so much that you only accept those beside you who add to your life, who expand your horizons, who respect your wholeness. And if today you feel tired, drained, giving too much of yourself, know this, the angels are by your side, holding your hands, guiding you back home. Your home is your heart. And it deserves rest too. There is a kind of light that not only illuminates, it reveals. And that's what you did with him. Without saying a word, you ignited within him what he had spent years trying to hide. The angels say, she was a mirror, not a judgment. And that's why he hesitates. Not because he doesn't love you, but because you saw him, completely. With all his shadows, all his contradictions, all the parts he tried to forget. You saw him when he didn't even recognize himself. And that, my dear, is a rare power. He sees himself in your eyes. And the reflection isn't always easy to face. You mirror the most beautiful parts of him, but also what he hasn't healed yet. And that's why sometimes he pulls away. It's not disdain. It's fear. Fear of what you compel him to feel. Fear of being vulnerable. Fear that, by being seen, he may not be loved. The angels show me that he wonders, how can she see everything and still stay? This question is an earthquake in his soul, because you don't point out flaws. You embrace. And that disarms. You don't demand transformation, but your presence is a constant invitation to it. And deep down he knows that he will need to strip away many armors, that he will have to choose between living a true love or remaining protected behind the shield of superficiality. But before that, he needs to accept what he sees in the reflection. And that hurts. Because no one truly changes without going through an internal confrontation. And you are that sweet and relentless confrontation. You are the woman who shows, without words, how he is living below his own soul. He has never met anyone like you. And this transforms him, even if he doesn't yet know what to call it. The truth is that you shook him. And he's not ready to thank you. Not yet. Because part of him is still struggling to maintain control. But the other has already surrendered. The angels say, she doesn't force the door, but her light dissolves the lock. You don't need to do anything more than continue being yourself. Don't run from your intensity. Don't apologize for being real. Don't diminish yourself to fit into the space he once knew. You are opening windows in rooms he has kept closed for decades. And this, even in silence, is a revolution. One day, he will look back and understand that it was in your eyes that he saw for the first time his own heart. There are moments when the heart starts to whisper louder than fear. And that's exactly where he is right now. The angels say, she didn't force him to change. She simply was a living presence of what is real. And this presence begins to make noise within him. Small at first. Like a memory that insists on returning. Like a song that won't be silenced even when the world is noisy. He starts to notice details he previously ignored. Your name resonates at random moments. He sees your face in the gestures of other people. And he feels a longing, not for what they lived, but for what they haven't yet lived. It's the beginning of awakening. Subtle, mysterious, but inevitable. This man who seemed sure of his decisions now walks restlessly. Something inside him is in motion. He begins to question certainties, to doubt old convictions. What once felt like a comfort zone now seems like a prison. Because suddenly, he realizes, living without you is merely surviving. And he wants more than that. The angels show that he has been receiving signals. And these are not coincidences. They are answers. Sometimes they come in the form of dreams, other times in random conversations, even in silences that scream. Everything points to the same place, you. This is not a common passion. It is a reunion of souls. And this type of connection has a rhythm that doesn't rush, but also doesn't fade away. He is feeling it. Even if he doesn't know how to act, even if his mind tells him to run away, his body is already moving in your direction. He finds himself thinking about what he would say if he saw you right now. And even if he says nothing, he has already begun to listen to you from within. The angels say, she is the beginning of the answer he has always sought. And even though he is still caught between two worlds, the known and the true, he knows that once touched by this truth, there's no going back to how it was. You have awakened in him what was dormant. Not just love, but the awareness of what it truly means to be alive. And even with fear, he is moving forward. One step at a time. Sometimes masked as distance. Sometimes covered by silence. But the movement has already begun. Do not doubt this, dear soul. Something in him has changed. And this change has your name. Have you noticed how he comes back, even after he has gone? As if something invisible pulls him back to you, even when everything seems to be over. The angels say, she is the return point he cannot erase. He tries to move on. He focuses on other routines, on other faces, on distractions. He pretends to forget. But his soul doesn't pretend. The soul feels. And it returns. It goes back to the place where it felt alive. Where it was seen. Where you were. This cycle, this back and forth, is not indifference. It is conflict. It is the soul asking for connection, while the mind screams for protection. He tries to rationalize a love that was never meant to be understood. It was meant to be lived. And every time he tries to cut the bond, something inside him bleeds. He pulls back because he feels. And he feels so much that he fears. The angels show that, on the nights when he can't sleep, your name echoes like a prayer he doesn't know how to say. He wants to stay. But he still doesn't know how to be whole with someone who sees beyond his defenses. You are refuge and storm. You are home and change. And he, used to lukewarm loves, is frightened by the strength of the truth you carry. She doesn't beg. And yet, I keep coming back, he thinks silently. But now, the angels reveal, this cycle is breaking. Little by little, he is growing tired of running away. Tired of the illusion of control. And he is starting to admit that his peace has your name on it. Trust. He can no longer avoid you, not even in thought. There is a kind of love that doesn't shout. It whispers. It heals without promising. And it transforms even without being understood. This is the love you offered him. And the angels say, she healed parts of him that even he didn't know were wounded. You didn't use big words. You didn't demand promises. You simply were love. And that was enough to start an invisible alchemy within him. Like drops of light entering through ancient cracks. Like balm where there was pain. He may never say it out loud. He may not even know how to put into words what he feels. But his body remembers your presence like one remembers shelter amidst the storm. You didn't save him. But you held him. You didn't force him. But you stayed. And for someone who has spent their life expecting to be abandoned, that is a miracle. The angels show, in the moments when he shuts down, that's when your light reaches him the deepest. Even when he goes silent, the memory of your care finds him. And this silent love is taking root. It is filling the spaces he once kept locked. He is relearning how to feel. And that is your work. Don't think you didn't make a difference. Your love was the prayer his soul needed to hear. And even if he still can't respond, he feels. He feels more than he can admit. The angels whisper, she is healing him just by existing. And this, my dear, is the purest form of miracle that can exist. There is something greater guiding all of this. Even when it feels slow. Even when it seems like silence. The angels say, she is where she is meant to be. And so is he. You have doubted. You have thought that perhaps you have idealized everything. You have wished to move on, silence your heart, forget. But somehow, it returns. The energy returns. The feeling doesn't fade. And this is not a prison. It is a purpose. God's timing is not measured by human urgency. And what is being built between you is not just anything. It is sacred. That's why the delay. That's why the tests. That's why the preparation. You weren't placed in his life just to love, but to guide, to remind, to hold his hand even when he doesn't yet know how to reciprocate. And the angels assure you, every second of your giving, every prayer made in silence, is being received. Nothing is lost. Nothing was in vain. The angels show that he is hearing the call. Slowly, but he is listening. There are signs all around. Dreams. Intuitions. Words he hears that echo what you used to say. He feels. And more, he understands that this is not just attraction. It is destiny. You are the answer to a prayer he never had the courage to make. And now, with the veils lifting, he begins to see. Not everything yet. But enough to know he wants to stay. He needs to understand how. The angels leave a promise. The plan is active. And nothing can stop it. Trust. Because what guides you is not desire. It is divine. Commit your way to the Lord. Trust in him, and he will act. Psalm 37 verse 5. Heaven is working for you. For your story. And for all that will soon cease to be a dream, to become reality. He wants to love you. But the fear still speaks louder. The angels say, she invites him in. And he gets startled by the open door. Loving you would be so much easier if he didn't have scars. If his past didn't speak so loudly. If the promises that were made to him hadn't been broken. But they were. And now, every step toward you demands a courage he still doesn't know if he possesses. You awaken in him a desire that goes beyond mere attraction. It's a desire to stay. To be authentic. To not run away. But alongside that comes the fear of revealing himself. Because he believes that if he shows himself, he will be abandoned. Again. He carries a deep fear of not being enough for someone like you. The angels show him scenes of himself silent, staring into the void, trying to comprehend how someone can love without expecting anything in return. How you manage to be present without asking for guarantees. This moves him. And it scares him. Because you are everything he's ever wanted, but he doesn't know if he deserves it. He bears guilt. Fears that paralyze him. He believes that if you see all the parts of him, you will walk away. And that's why he hides. That's why he withdraws. That's why he doesn't give his all. But what he doesn't realize is that you have already seen him, fully, and even then you stayed. The angels whisper, she loves him not despite the scars, but with them. And that is the rarest kind of love. It will still take time for him to feel secure enough to fully surrender. But every word from you, every gesture of acceptance, is breaking down the bricks of a wall he thought was unbreakable. You are healing his fear of being loved. And one day when he can finally express all that he feels, you will know, it was your love that taught him what truth is. Fear not, for I am with you. Be not dismayed, for I am your God. Isaiah 41 verse 10. You are not alone in this process. Heaven walks with you. You have done all you can. And now, it's time to trust. The angels say, she has given love. Now, heaven will take care of the rest. There's a point where it's no longer about insisting. It's about accepting. And accepting, my dear, isn't giving up. It's recognizing that what is true doesn't need force. It needs faith. You planted. You nurtured. You loved without intruding. You believed when no one else saw the sense in it. You were present even in absence. And that was more than love. It was light. Now, the cycle changes. And the angels want you to know, whatever is meant to bloom, will bloom. Because what is real doesn't get lost. It only matures. If he is able to open his heart, you will know. And if it's not time yet, time will bring it. But until then, your peace cannot wait. Your heart deserves rest. You deserve to rest in this certainty. You gave everything. With truth. With soul. The angels show a path ahead. No rush. No demands. Just presence. Love doesn't need to be chased. It is recognized. Felt. Lived when both hearts are ready. Acceptance is freedom. It's loving even when the other doesn't yet know how. It's moving forward, but with your heart turned to the sky, and not looking back. The angels say, she let go, but love remained. And that's what transforms. Because what was touched by you will never be forgotten. It may even fall silent. But your name echoes deep in his soul. Because what you have is not ordinary. It is eternal. Whatever comes, know this, the heavens saw everything. And they will honor you. With love, with encounters, with truths that only arrive for hearts that daringly loved. What is yours already misses you.